You are doing everything you think you should to lose weight, dieting, maybe even exercising, but that stubborn belly fat just won't budge. You are not alone. This is one of the most frustrating health challenges people face. And today we are going to uncover a major reason why: insulin resistance. It's not about a lack of willpower. It's often about a fundamental imbalance in your body's metabolism. Hello and welcome to the channel. I'm Dr. Oteng. That stubborn fat around your midsection isn't just for looks. It's actively working against your health. So if you are tired of the struggle, stick with me. This video could be the key you've been searching for. We've talked a lot about blood sugar, heart health, and making wise food choices. But today, I want to connect the dots and explain the critical link between the stubborn belly fat and a condition called insulin resistance. Understanding this connection is the first and most important step towards making real, lasting changes. Belly fat, also known as visceral fat, is stored up within your abdomen, deep within your abdomen, surrounding even some of your organs. Unlike the fat that is just under your skin, visceral fat is metabolically active. This means it releases hormones and inflammatory substances that can wreak havoc on your system. And one of the biggest impacts is on your body's sensitivity to insulin, something that people struggle with a lot. So what exactly is insulin resistance? Insulin is a hormone produced by your pancreas. Its main job is to help glucose or sugar from your bloodstream enter your cells, where it can be used for energy. Think of insulin as the key that unlocks the door to your cells, allowing glucose to come in. In insulin resistance, however, your cells become less responsive to this key. They don't open the door as easily for glucose to enter. As a result, your pancreas has to pump out more insulin just to try and get the job done. This in itself will lead to too much insulin floating around because the insulin is not working. So your pancreas pumping more will lead to too much insulin floating around. And that in itself will lead to obesity or weight gain. But the sad thing is this weight gain is even more detrimental to your health when the weight builds around the midsection, the belly fat. That starts a whole cascade of problems. It also, because insulin is not working properly, it also can lead to elevated blood sugar levels. So your insulin levels have gone up, but because it's not working well, your blood sugar levels are also going up at the same time. And over time, this can progress to prediabetes or type 2 diabetes itself. Now, here's the critical part. Excess belly fat promotes insulin resistance. So, excess insulin led to weight gain and potentially developing belly fat. Now that you have the excess belly fat, that in itself is also leading to more insulin resistance. It is like adding extra locks to the doors of your cells, making insulin's job even harder. Now this creates a vicious cycle. Insulin resistance makes it harder for your body to burn fat, especially around your midsection. And that very belly fat further worsens insulin resistance. It is a frustrating loop that many people get stuck in. Now, while the only way to truly diagnose insulin resistance is through specific blood tests with your doctor, there are some signs and symptoms you might actually notice. So let's go through some of the signs. The first one is you may see dark patches of skin, what we call acanthosis nigricans, often found around the neck, the armpits, or even in the groin areas. Also, you may see skin tags, small flaps of skin around your body. Sometimes you may also have a feeling of being tired after your meals. After you eat, you feel extremely tired, even when you eat healthy meals. The other sign is brain fog or difficulty concentrating. Why? Because you don't have glucose, entering your brain cells to give you energy to do, the brain work that you need to be doing because insulin is not working. The other thing is you may have elevated or high blood sugar levels, which is the most obvious ones. That leads to also high A1C, hemoglobin A1C levels. And then next sign you may also find is if you have a blood work done, you may see or be told that you have high triglyceride levels, while you have low HDL or low good cholesterol levels. If you're experiencing several of these, it's definitely worth discussing with your healthcare provider. The good news is that you absolutely can improve your insulin sensitivity and break free from this cycle that we're talking about. Here are some key strategies to look at. The first one is most obvious, is a healthy diet. Focus on whole unprocessed foods. Reduce your intake of refined carbohydrates, white rice, white flour, and the like. And also sugary drinks. If you have a belly fat, there's no way you should be drinking soda or minerals. And then, of course, other drinks that are sugar-laden. What you want to do is to emphasize fiber-rich vegetables, lean proteins, and healthy fats. Now, the other thing you can do is to, harness regular exercise. Both cardio and regular strength training exercises are very crucial because exercise helps your muscles use glucose more effectively for energy, making them more responsive to insulin. Aim for at least 150 minutes of moderate to intensity or 75 minutes of vigorous to intensity aerobic activity per week, plus strength training at least 2 days a week. The other thing you can do is to get enough quality sleep because poor sleep can disrupt your hormones and worsen insulin resistance because insulin is a hormone. Aim for 7 to 9 hours of restful sleep each night. I understand you can't always get 7 to 9, but for the most part, you have to aim for that and try and get as much of that as possible. The other thing is to manage your stress levels. Chronic stress elevates cortisol, which can negatively impact your blood sugar and insulin. So you practice stress-reducing techniques like mindfulness, meditation, being part of groups like church or other social clubs where you can basically form connections that reduce stress. And spending time in nature also helps with stress. Now, consider intermittent fasting also. It's very important, especially if your doctor approves of it. Definitely ask for your doctor's consent before you start intermittent fasting, especially if you're already diagnosed with type 2 diabetes. But if you are cleared to be able to do intermittent fasting, it's a strategy that individuals use. It improves insulin sensitivity. For example, you don't eat from morning till midday before you break your fast, which is something that can easily be tolerated, or even more extended periods, again, with your doctor approving it. And then the next thing to do as a strategy to avoid insulin resistance is to discuss the potential medications and supplements that may be out there for you. In some cases, your doctor may recommend medications or supplements like berberine, to help manage your insulin levels, whether or not you have been diagnosed with diabetes, and also help manage insulin resistance and blood sugar levels. Understanding the connection between stubborn belly fat and insulin resistance is a game changer. It shifts the focus from just trying to lose weight to addressing a fundamental metabolic issue. By implementing these lifestyle changes or lifestyle strategies, you can significantly improve your insulin sensitivity, making it easier for your body to burn fat easily, especially that dangerous visceral fat around your midsection. That isn't an overnight fix, I can tell you that. But with consistent effort, you can break this cycle and move towards better health. Thank you for watching. If you found this video informative, please give it a thumbs up. Share with somebody that may be in need of it or struggling with belly fat. And also subscribe. Let me know in the comment section below what steps you are going to take to address your own insulin resistance. Now, you may not have insulin resistance yet, but what steps are you going to take to prevent yourself from getting there? Because I read and appreciate all your feedback. Until next time, stay informed and stay healthy. If you're watching on YouTube, this other video here may actually be very helpful after this one. So click on that video after you subscribe if you have not already subscribed. So subscribe, just click on the image down there. And then after that, make sure you click on that video. Thanks for watching.